Good morning, Alliance of Delray. This is Lori Venacore, Executive Vice President. We have a great meeting today because today our keynote speaker is our brand new Clerk and Comptroller, Joe Abruzzo. He will be speaking after, of course, we get our reports from our first responders and our elected officials. One item that I am letting everyone know about is, we're always concerned about development, and we had a big development issue this month that came to everybody in the mail. And guess what? We're gonna have to have another one next month because there's so many projects that are actually really in line. But the one bit of news that we all did not want to hear, but there is a bit of news. There has been less gas taxes collected this year. Oh my God, I wonder why. It's because people are not driving as much. They haven't driven as much during this past COVID pandemic, which started last year. So the widening projects are primarily funded with gas taxes. So there's been a lot less collected. So it's delayed us a bit. And the 441 to Lyons Road expansion has been delayed to fiscal year from 2023 to fiscal year 2024. You have to be aware that what a fiscal year is, it's not really necessarily 2024. A fiscal year starts the October before, in the fall before. So it could start as soon as October 2023, but it is delayed a year. So we're not happy about that, and that has to be taken into consideration when the development that's coming up and the timelines for all the development projects. Now we have our District 4 representative. We have, yes, Lieutenant Morales. Please, Lieutenant Morales, can you give us an update?
Hi, good morning, everyone, especially everyone on the panel. I know that the icon there says Captain Sam, but that's not him. It's me, Lieutenant Morales. He's tied up on other matters right now, so he asked me to fill in. So I'll start off with some sad news. I'm sure some of you have heard of the tragedy that occurred down in Sunrise yesterday with the 2 FBI agents were shot and killed, and a few other agents and officers were injured while they're executing a search warrant. This hits close to home, not only because it happened just about an hour south of here, but we have PBSO has detectives assigned to that actual task force that works out of that area. So our prayers go out to the family, not only to them, but to the law enforcement community as well. I was talking with my wife this morning, and this is a real reminder that the men and women who put on the badge and gun every day, we really run that risk of sacrificing our lives to protect the community. So please keep those families in your hearts and your prayers, because the next few days are going to be tough. All right, to switch subjects here, Dr. Venacore, you mentioned the traffic with the pandemic, how it's gone down. You don't see the roads less busy. Well, season is here. The roads are getting busier. We're up 18% in traffic accidents. So how can we prevent that? Slow down. Let's give ourselves some extra time to get to where we want to get to. If we have an appointment at a certain time, let's leave 15 minutes earlier. That way we're not rushing and making bad decisions while we're driving. There's actually new research that came out that suggested that the small increases in speed can actually become deadlier in the outcome of the accident. So as an example, a crash that's easily survivable at 40 miles per hour, if that person was going 50 miles per hour, it could become deadly. So the point is, let's slow down, let's take it easy, and let's not be distracted while we're driving, okay? And lastly, I have an update on the COVID vaccination of the pods over at the South County Civic Center. We are providing, PBSO is providing resources to ensure that it runs smoothly. We've got about 10 to 15 deputies assigned to that area as well. We did the same thing with Kings Point, which I think yesterday was their last day. They did their second round of the vaccinations. We have provided resources over there. And as far as the reports we got from Kings Point, everything ran smoothly and there was no issues whatsoever. So that's about all I have. again, thank you for having us, and we'll see you next month. Okay.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Morales. And now we have Battalion Chief Tazi.
Good morning, Alliance. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm sorry if it's hard to hear me, but I have my mask on today because I'm going to have the privilege of introducing to you one of my new battalion chiefs that serves under me. I have 3 of them, and I'm going to introduce to you here in a minute Chief Bill Stansberry, who's joined me. I had, out of the 3 battalion chiefs I had, 2 of them had left and gone to other assignments throughout the county, which is fulfilling for us. It helps us get another idea and a different perspective, whether it's out in the urban interface fighting brush fires or what you might have. So it's just unique, and it's good for all our chief officers to rotate once in a while. And they did it voluntarily, and I'm going to miss them. But I'm so excited to have Chief Stansberry with me here. And he's going to come on here in a second and say hello. I just want to address, as Lieutenant Morales had mentioned, we are at Fire Rescue in support of the pod at South County Civic Center. I understand today, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're going to be attempting upwards of about 1,500 vaccines. So it's going to be very busy. If you have to travel in the area, please be careful. I've received a lot of calls, as I'm sure all of us have, from our constituents, our friends. Is there anything I can do to get a vaccine? Do you know anywhere? And it breaks my heart. I wish I could have my list and submit it and get all of us on there. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But I got to tell you, if that day ever happens, I'll be reaching out to Dr. Vinocour and letting everybody know about it. But, it's our hearts are with everybody. Please remain safe. With that said, I'd like to take a minute again to introduce Chief Bill Stansberry. He's going to go over some of our calls that we've had this past month. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for letting me be here. My name is Bill Stansberry. I'm new battalion chief in Bat 4 this year, but I have worked in Battalion 4 at every station over the last 17 years. So I'm very familiar with the area, the stations. I've worked in all the different ranks. So I'm very happy to be back. I know the area very well. Please reach out to me if you ever need anything, because I know a lot of the area. Now I'm going to go over the calls that occurred in January at the stations. It's been very busy for the guys and girls of Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. The call numbers for January: Station 42, there was 476 calls at Station 42. 42 is located on Hagen and Atlantic, right by the Delray Library. Station 45, which is located on Linton and Jog over by Kings Point, that station ran 588 calls. That's a very busy station. And then the third station that is represented is Station 52. 52 is south of Linton on Military. That station had 188 calls in January. So the men and women of Palm Beach County Fire Rescue have been very busy, been providing great care, and we'll continue to do that. So if anyone has any questions, don't be afraid to ask.
All right, Alliance, thank you very much. And everybody have a safe month, and we'll look forward to seeing you next month.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Our next speaker, of course, we go to Vice Mayor Weinroth, and we will spotlight him right now.
Good morning, Lori. It's great to see you again.
Good to see you.
See, I'm on the beach. It's a little cold out here, but yesterday the groundhog was out, told us it was going to be another 6 weeks of winter. And of course, down here, we enjoy our winter. I'd like to give everybody a little bit of an update on the vaccine. I know everybody is really, frustrated by what's been going on. Yesterday, the Board of County Commissioners met, and Pamela, dear, you'll excuse me. I have some of my critics here. Hold on half a second.
Well, that's funny. I'm sure he'll be back in a second.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Anyway, all right. So yesterday we had a very good meeting with Darcy Davis from the Healthcare District and Dr. Alina Alonso from the Department of Health. And we really were able to go over a lot of the situations that have been frustrating our residents, which is basically trying to get the vaccine. And I think it's important to realize that the real issue has been supply. And we've been working hand in hand with the state and they have been very responsive to us. And we want you to understand that Jared Moskowitz, who is director of the Department of Emergency Services, has really worked with us. And it's just the amount of vaccine that's available from the federal government that is being dispersed throughout the country. But Publix is really our primary vaccinator right now. And I know that's caused a lot of our residents concern because it's very difficult to get onto their website. This morning, they were open. They took 41,000 appointments, and that was statewide. There is 22 different Publix counties, and in our county, there are 67 Publix pharmacies. So they took 41,000 appointments this morning. They will not open again until Friday at 7 a.m. So if you didn't get an appointment today, go back to the Publix site, which is publix.com/COVID-vaccine/Florida. I'll give that to Lori and she can put it up on the website and in their bulletin. Right now, this is the best way for you to get an appointment. If you had sent an email to the Department of Health back in December and early January, they received over 200,000 emails. And the healthcare district is working through that list right now. They're not taking any new emails right now. They're working down that list. They said as of yesterday, there's still about 163,000 on that list. So it's going to take them a few weeks to get through that list, but they are working it down. They are vaccinating, as you heard the sheriff just say, they're vaccinating both at South County Civic Center. They were up at the John Prince Park. We've closed that location. We're going to be transferring it over to the fairgrounds, but that hasn't occurred yet. But you cannot go to any of these locations, whether it's a Publix pharmacy or to the South County Civic Center, unless you have an appointment. So please, as frustrated as you may be, please do not go there unless you have an appointment. We are working diligently. Again, the county, your county commissioners, we don't have direct control over this. We're working with the healthcare district. We're working with the Department of Emergency Management. We're working with the Department of Health, but we are not directly involved in getting the vaccine out. We are, we're looking to get as much as we can, as quickly as we can. We passed the motion yesterday and asked that the state identify the teachers in our county, 65 and over, that need to get the vaccine and immediately get that vaccine to them so they can get back to work, in-person teaching, because a lot of our students have been at home taking virtual lessons, and unfortunately their classwork is suffering. So there's a lot going on right now. I'm going to give Lori the information as far as the website for Publix. There is one more website that you may have heard about. It's a state website, and it's myvaccine.fl.gov. That website will not be used as far as vaccine appointments yet, but you can go on there, put your name in, you'll be in a virtual waiting room. And when they've worked down the appointments from the original emails that the Department of Health received, they will then pivot over to that list. So it doesn't go into a black hole, but they will not be calling people from that list yet. So if you've heard about that list, the myvaccine.fl.gov, it is an active website. You can put your name in there and they will get back to you, but it's going to take a little while for them to work down the other list. Lori, that's all I got for you this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your update. We need these detailed updates in this time because of the vaccine issue and also our terrible pandemic that we have here. And we're hearing right now from the state, not too many of our elected officials could come on today because they're in Tallahassee and all things are happening, but Representative Emily Schlossberg has made a little bit of time for us. Can we hear something from the state, please?
Yes, absolutely. And I just want to start off by saying thank you, Lori Vineker, for all that you do for Alliance. I know you've been instrumental in trying to organize mobile pods for the communities of Alliance and in Delray area, and your efforts, are appreciated, and hopefully we can get some type of program going and off the ground eventually, so that we can get the pods into these communities, our 55 and over communities, because that's so important. We did have a good operation starting off in Kings Point and Century Village, those two small mobile units, and hopefully we could get something like that on a larger scale. I want to say it's phenomenal to see Senator or Clerk Abruzzo. We miss you up in Tallahassee. You served in Tallahassee with us, and you are a phenomenal legislator. And I know you're going to do all good things as our new Clerk of Courts. So congratulations on your election, and looking forward to working with you. I guess some legislative updates we have. I sit on civil justice, and we have a bill that's related to COVID liability for businesses. This is a bill, it's House Bill 7, and it's actually up today at its second stop in pandemics and emergencies. And what it does is it provides near blanket immunities to businesses who substantially comply with controlling law. And, there's a few issues with the bill. It's what is that controlling law? Is it the federal law? Is it state law? It's not really clear. And it says substantially comply, not strictly comply, but substantially comply. We really want all businesses to strictly comply with, all controlling guidelines. And one other thing it does, it requires, before bringing suit, it requires a physician affidavit to certify with a medical degree of certainty that the damage or the injury occurred as a result of the defendant's omission. And this is, what we're doing is we're creating a barrier to bringing a suit. There's only been 10 lawsuits brought in the state, and it's really not an imminent threat. So this does have 2 more committee stops, and we'll see how things possibly change through the amendment process, but it's something to look out for. We've also had legislation up that is criminalizing scams for the vaccine. So vaccine scams, people who are offering to sell a vaccine for a certain amount of a few $100s or so. So we're criminalizing those types of practices. So that's what's going up here. I filed some legislation. I filed legislation for our traffic safety. One of my priorities is traffic safety. I filed House Bill 91 that would make it hands-free Florida. So currently it's primary enforcement of the texting while driving, and hands-free in school zones and active construction zones. And what this would do, it would just standardize it across the state, so you can't really touch your phone when you're driving. And this would save thousands of lives in our state. So it's just something to monitor. It's been assigned to 4 committees. 4 committees is a lot of committees, and so it's not fast-tracked, and it will be vetted. All right, and that's all I've got for the legislative updates. Thank you, Lori. Thank you for all you do. And I just want to say one more thing. I apologize for not attending previous meetings. We actually, the state and federal delegation, are on calls, at this time, around this time every Wednesday. So I really apologize, and I'm gonna try to make it as much as I can.
Thank you so much for the update. It's great to have one state official here today. That's terrific. And we'll have more in the future too, when the legislative session starts moving along. Now we have 2 more speakers with updates before we go to our very important keynote speaker, Clerk Joe Abruzzo. We've had Commissioner Sachs couldn't make it here today, but we are going to have Vivian Leva just give us a brief update from her office. And then we have Karen Brill, who came on from our school board, and she'll say a few words, and then we'll have our keynote speaker. Go ahead, Vivian.
Good morning, Lori. I'm here on behalf of Commissioner Sachs. She will not be joining us today because she is out there working very hard advocating for more vaccines. She will be with Governor DeSantis today, and we look forward to an update from her later on.
Great. Thank you very much for that update. I know she's was very instrumental in helping out all the seniors down here. Thank you so much.
You're
we'll
welcome.
Replace the spotlight now with our school board member, Karen Brill. Can you give us an update?
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So I was just looking for the specifics, but everybody is concerned, of course, about the vaccine. So I'm going to focus on that real briefly. We have been working very hard. I'm sure you read about the lack of vaccines out in the Glades area and Pahokee. Actually today, and I'm sure that this is where Commissioner Sachs is going to be, Governor DeSantis is he worked out an arrangement with Anquan Bolden to have COVID vaccines administered at the Anquan Bolden Stadium in Pahokee. So we have our senior executives, our school board member, Marsha Andrews, everybody out in the Glades trying to let people who are over age 65 know about this opportunity to get the vaccine. The other thing that we are doing as a school board, just to add to what Vice Mayor Weinroth has mentioned, is that we are trying to work with the governor to see if we can administer the vaccines either at our schools or at our new health facility, first for our seniors, our senior employees who are age 65 and older. And then later on, we are trying to get permission to administer the vaccine to all employees who are student facing. That's our bus drivers, maintenance workers, food service workers. So I will have an update, but just know we are trying to protect all of the wonderful people that work with our children. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next month.
Thank you very much. We look forward to having your school board update every month. That will be terrific. Thank you so much. Now, what we have here is our keynote speaker of the day. Wow, remember, the Alliance is always one of firsts, and today is the first major group. The Alliance is the first major group that Palm Beach County Clerk and Comptroller Joe Abruzzo is going to meet and provide an office overview. He really requires no introduction. We know him from his wonderful representation of us being a Florida House of Representative and being a Florida Senator. Previously, we all know Joe Abruzzo, so please help me welcome him. Maybe we can have a clap.
No, thank you.
Great to see you. Go ahead and proceed. Thank you so much.
No, Dr. Lori, and I cannot thank you enough for allowing me to address the Alliance in the first major public presentation of our office. But before I begin, I also have to send my regards to Representative Schlossberg. I do miss being up there with everybody and fighting the good fight for Palm Beach County. But one thing does come to mind. And that was when we were working together when I was in the Senate, I believe in 2012, with Lori and Bob and the team when we did the Yellow Dot program. And just 2 days ago, I was driving and I saw 2 cars back to back with yellow dots. And for those who are on the call that do not or may not know what that is or do not remember, the Alliance, along with our neighboring umbrella HOA groups or associations, came up with an idea to put a yellow dot on a car that if they were in a bad accident, our first responders who are on the call, like Chief Tony, would know their pertinent medical information was in the glove box. And that wouldn't have been done without the Alliance, COBRA, West Boca Community Council, and absolutely Representative Schlossberg in our office. So it's just kind of a reunion and powwow for a yellow dot. I'm here today to talk about the Clerk and Comptroller's office. I've been in office for nearly a month. I do have a slideshow. I'm going to attempt to do it. I just want to let everybody know a little bit about our office and what is going on. So I'm going to, Lori, tell me if this is working.
You click on screen share.
I think I did. I have Kathy here.
Yeah, Kathy can click on screen share, bottom the green button, and then you could start to share the screen. There you go. Terrific. Excellent. That was fast.
Really fast. So obviously the Clerk of the Circuit Court and Comptroller. I was recently just sworn into office. We have nearly 650 employees with an annual operating budget of 70 million. And of course, we're here to support the Palm Beach County government system as a whole and primarily the 15th Judicial Circuit. Also in this role, our office and myself is the Treasurer and Chief Financial Officer of the county. We are also the county recorder, have all the public records. And of course, I'm also the clerk to the Board of the County Commissioners. The office employees are so important to me because at the end of the day, I know that if the employees are happy and doing well and are really pleased to be coming to work, you, the constituents, get incredible service. And there's some things that we've been doing. You see the photo there. We have Jersey days on Friday, especially during football season. So many sports fans at the office. It's one of the first things that when I came into the office, people started to discuss with me personally about. I've been trying to meet, and it is my goal to meet nearly all 700, 650 of the employees. And when I say meet them, I spend about anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes with each individual. It's going to take a matter of months with all the employees, but I'm really excited to do that. We are also going to build a great community outreach program for our office. It's important that you know what's going on and how we can help. A couple of things that I did right off the bat. I did not wait the 5 years for our minimum wage increase to kick in. I raised our in-office minimum wage to $15 an hour. So all those making below that got it immediately. Obviously, you, the voters, passed Florida minimum wage, which personally I'm really excited about. I know Representative Schlossberg and Vice Mayor Weinroth as well. So we did not wait for that. So everybody at our clerk's office now makes $15 an hour or more. I put in an ombudsman program, which is a representative for the employees. It's their employee advocate directly to me. This person reports to me. It's a lot what unions do, also in the military, large corporations. So they have their own employees advocate now at the office. I also created the most diverse upper management team that this office has ever had. Quite frankly, from the senior management, there were no African Americans and nobody of the Jewish faith when I took office. And one of the top two positions in the office is the chief of courts, which literally all the employees with nearly 500 that operate the courts, our court system of our office, is under this individual. And she's been doing phenomenal. And it's the first person of the Jewish faith in upper management. And then, of course, the comptroller side, the finance side, which manages the money for the county, another incredible individual, first African-American at the chief level. So we are creating by far the most diverse staff we've had here. Our general counsel is Hispanic, and diversity is extremely important to me. And we're starting to hit those marks already. And not only at upper management, but obviously throughout the entire organization. When I took office, one of our main vendors to the clerk's office was a company called Penn Credit. They did the collection for all overdue traffic tickets, court fines, and fees. The owner of this company has been federally indicted for bribing Florida clerks about a year and a half ago. So I didn't think it was a good look, good idea, nor do I want to be doing business with anybody. And I understand people have the right to their trial, but under this very strong federal indictment that has been levied, I didn't think it was good for us at the county to continue that relationship. So I terminated that contract. We are going to be rolling out a brand new website, which is coming for all of you. And obviously with COVID, one of the top things is to make sure anything you need our office for, you can perform and do online. So you do not have to physically come into our offices or the courthouse. And this new website, Kathy, do we have a date on it yet? What do you think? March. So we're working really hard to get the new website up and running. So services you may see or need from our office. We are the holder of the public records of basically everything in our county government. So thousands of court records. Also, when you pay your traffic tickets, as I've been discussing, apply for a marriage license or reschedule your jury duty. And by the way, I want to pause there. We are taking jurors now. pleasantly, to my surprise, we just recently had to summons 300 jurors, and we had an incredible turnout, about 100, over 40%, which is a very high mark, didn't reschedule. So that was surprising during COVID. It's important that we get our courts up and operating, obviously on all fronts. And I'll talk about this actually a little bit later. I want to just let you know what I see coming down from the backup system and the funds needed out of Tallahassee, especially while I have Representative Schlossberg on the line. You could also file your court documents, as I talked about, your e-records, the Value Adjustment Board. Dorothy Jacks, our property appraiser, and I work really hand in glove. That's when you, for your homes, think your property taxes are a little off, and you file. You can file to appear in front of the Value Adjustment Board to get that lowered. We actually operate that board. So the Chief Financial Officer part of our office. In our roles, Palm Beach County's CFO, we produce reports that show where your tax money goes. Also, the CARES Act payments flow through our office. And I want to talk about the money. We manage billions of dollars. We have your county tax dollars that the county commission decides how to spend, but we hold that in bank accounts and allocate it as needed. But then there is a large amount of reserve dollars, billions of dollars that are invested to grow interest and basically protect for a rainy day. Our office decides how that money is invested and, of course, protect those public dollars. We are working very hard to make sure it's protected during this uncertain time, but yet grow interest and make sure we're earning a good profit on our public tax dollars. Service from our office. This is important for you as homeowners. And I encourage everybody to do this. If you go to My Palm Beach Clerk, which is on the screen.com/fraud, you can put in your home address, and for any property fraud alerts, you will get notified. This service monitors documents recorded in Palm Beach County in the official records. Once you register, you'll receive an email or phone alert if anything is filed in your name with my office. I don't know if any of you have seen the national reports, but property fraud, especially during the pandemic, has become a real issue. So we have upped our game as far as watching this and making sure that we know everything that is going on with your property in the public record. So if somebody tries to file a false deed or a claim on your property, you will be notified immediately and we will know. So I truly, this will not bombard you with any other type of emails for solicitation. It is simply to protect your property and let you know that it is being monitored and watched. Our self-service center. This is pretty cool. The staff here did an amazing job. Prior to my election, they created, especially in the main courthouse, although we have one in virtually all our locations, a self-service center. Of course, we cannot provide legal advice, but this is for you. If you are unable to obtain a lawyer, do not want to obtain a lawyer, we walk you through how the forms are conducted. It kind of looks like an Apple store in the main courthouse. Again, they did a great job. Not only does it have a cool feel about it, but it also has a child center where you can bring your child if you're a single mom or dad and during the work day and be able to get some assistance on filling out your documentation and making sure you have a space for your child. So we're trying to do everything we can from a self-service. You'll find a self-service center in all of our courthouse locations, including South County Courthouse in Delray Beach. As I mentioned, you'll find user-friendly legal forms, navigators, as we call them, to help with filling out your forms, and notary service, all complimentary. This is for you. And I highly encourage anybody that needs some assistance to check it out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. We started taking passports. We are now a passport office. You can apply for a new passport or renew your passport if it expired more than 5 years ago at any of our branch offices. We are currently taking passport applications by appointment only right now due to COVID, obviously. Guardianship. This is a very important service that we have. And as you can tell, we have a lot of roles at the Clerk and Comptroller's office. We have over 1,000 different statutory duties, hence the 650 employees and everything we're discussing today. My division of the Inspector General investigates potential incidents of financial fraud or waste involving court-appointed guardians. So when a court appoints a guardian to look after somebody, generally a senior citizen, and there are guardians, and it happens unfortunately quite a bit, that take advantage of this situation, our Office of Inspector General goes out and investigates and ultimately brings those to justice that are harming seniors when they're supposed to be protecting them. So this is very near and dear to me, and something that you know, I'm very pleased of how great our IG's office works. I'm actually, security and safety is very important to me at the office for the employees and our inspectors. So it's one of the things I'm newly doing is increasing our security standards, especially for the investigators that go out into the public to investigate some of these serious guardianship fraud allegations. In 2020, investigators identified more than 635,000 in unverifiable and questionable expenditures. And with the ramp up of this program and the continued ramp up, I unfortunately expect that number to be higher, especially in these times. But we have an incredible IG's office. There's a gentleman by the name, first name Anthony, who is really the lead in going out and finding those committing fraud. And I can't say enough about him and the team. Of course, mark your calendar, Operation Greenlight. There is a lot of unpaid traffic tickets and outstanding court fines and fees, but we, through March 1st and through the 5th, are going to waive all fines and save those money. You could either pay by phone or pay online. And let me explain how substantial this is. By the lack of payment, you could get charged up to 40% more than what you owe by not paying. So we're waiving all those fees, and this would be an opportunity for those to pay without receiving those fines. And of course, please, mypalmbeachclerk.com is our website, but we are on all the major social media networks. At Clerk PBC is generally our feed on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. The employees have been talking to me about doing a TikTok. Now, I am not on TikTok, but they're very excited about it. And I know a lot of people are starting to use TikTok, and so we're going to be, I guess, rolling out some TikToks. Of course, questions. But before I get into questions, I just wanted to let you know that I am helping the Clerks Association, the overall clerks throughout our state, advocate to Tallahassee about clerk funding. Obviously, if we are not funded properly, the whole court system could get backed up. And with the foreclosure crisis pending, both the civil and criminal litigation as well, with juries not being able to come to fruition until now, we have a lot on our plate. So Tallahassee, the good news is the Republicans that control Tallahassee and those that serve on the pertinent Justice Appropriations Committee meetings are extremely sympathetic, and they are starting to understand or do understand the issue. The court side, generally led by the Supreme Court, has put in appropriation requests for more magistrates and more people to help their judicial system. Well, if you're adding magistrates or judges, we need clerks to facilitate those courtrooms. So if they fund one, they have to fund us and other clerks throughout the state, or it could be a real mismatch. So we are going in with some funding requests to match what's happening from the court side. Cannot say enough about our legislative delegation, very strong in support of our court system. Fortunately, Representative Caruso is the vice chair of Justice Appropriation in the House, and he's submitting one of the requests personally. So we hear a lot about working in across the aisle. I'm pleased that, he's working with us to facilitate getting these very important funds, because we do not want to be backed up here in the county. Now, there will be, we call them rocket dockets, when the judicial branch decides to move forward on the foreclosures. We expect these rocket dockets to move, where they start moving through it fast. I'm concerned about it for several reasons. When the rent assistant dries up, they will move to these rocket dockets, and that's when homelessness could increase. When somebody gets evicted from a home, of course, that stays on their record when they apply again for rent. So it's hard for them to get another lease, if you will. So we just have to be very careful. I have no say in how the county or the state handles what they're going to do with their assistance programs, but I just wanted you all to know I'm aware of it, and hopefully those advocating to our government officials, obviously, I know to our delegation, it's near and dear in their heart to make sure people are okay if they lost their job or going through some hard times. But that said, there's a flip side of that coin as well, where if somebody's renting a property and not paying, that's an issue if they're not getting assistance. So I just want to let you know, I'm going to do everything I can as my role as clerk, where to get these cases to where they need to be as far as staffed up and ready to go when that day comes. But Lori, I would love to answer any questions.
Okay, we actually do have a question here. We have a question, and it comes from High Energy. We know who that is, right? She has high energy. Judy, welcome, Mr. Abruzzo. You mentioned TikTok. I read that Chinese are involved or own that site. They're worried about giving info to them. So have you checked the security of the site and all? I'm sure you would never do anything without checking all that security, and we don't want to give anything to the Chinese, but go ahead and
I've answered this question, and I have another shout out I have to give. Yes, that was actually not being on the site or too familiar. I did see that. Communications is going through that. We're not going to go live until I know everything is secured. And what I really see on that site is employees at the office kind of doing fun little quick videos about, hey, this is how you can log on and file your paperwork or get your marriage license. It wouldn't be anything of the public record or anything that is personal or private information. But if I find that it is just still not a good thing, I won't ultimately greenlight it at the end of the day. But everything I've been hearing so far, I've been hearing it's okay to go. I do see Representative Skidmore on the line as well, and I have to thank her for all that she's doing, and it's great to see you, Kelly, always.
Oh, that's great. And she's here. We would have had her speak before, but I guess she's come on a little later. Okay.
And Karen Brill as well, who used to be an employee at the Clerk and Comptroller's office and knows very well how it operates. It's great to see Karen on the call.
Okay, great. Yeah, we do have Representative Skidmore here. And while we wait for a couple of any more questions, if we could just give Representative Skidmore a minute to speak, then we'll come right back to you, okay?
Sure.
Thank you. I'm going to add the spotlight. So our clerk is still there and we see her. Go ahead, Representative Skidmore. Thank you for showing up. I know that with Tallahassee, your schedule is tight.
Thank you, Dr. Vinokur. I appreciate that. And thank you, Clerk Abruzzo, for those kind words and for your support during the campaign. It was invaluable, and so happy to be back in the legislature. It is so cold in Tallahassee, but it does do wonders for the frizz in my hair. So the upside to the cold is no humidity. And we have a busy day today with committee meetings. Some of you may know we have very strict COVID guidelines to come into the Capitol. The Senate is even more strict than the House. So things are move rather slowly right now because you have to have your COVID test and wait until you're allowed in the building 2 hours before you can go into a committee meeting. So we are getting adjusted and accustomed to these new rules, but committees are going strong. We're starting to hear some bills. We have heard last week more presentations than actual pieces of legislation, but we are moving right along. We did hear House Bill 1, which I know many of you are familiar with, is the bill that is being supported by Governor DeSantis in regard to civil disobedience and protests. And so we're hoping that there's maybe some compromise in that bill as we move forward. A lot of healthcare issues. I serve on 3 healthcare committees. So with so many people losing their healthcare benefits when they lost their jobs, Medicaid is really at capacity and taking up, as it always does, a large part of the budget. So we're making sure that we're protecting those who are vulnerable and in need of healthcare services. So lots going on. Thanks so much for letting me just sort of pop in and say hello and give you a little bit of an update. And I look forward to telling you more as we move along towards the beginning of session. Thanks again, Dr. Vinokur. Great to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you too. Thank you so much. Well, I keep wanting to call you Senator Abruzzo. Gosh, it's difficult, especially when we have all these elected officials here now.
Just call me Joe.
Yes.
I tell the people at the office, call me Clerk Joe.
Clerk Joe, yeah, Clerk Joe. Well, we have no more questions. This was such a comprehensive overview, and there is so much for us to digest. This will be on YouTube, and it will be on our website, the front homepage of our website. We have a link to the YouTube video, and we can review that. We'll also be receiving the PowerPoint from Clerk Joe's office and other information and ways you can actually, if you have any other questions, you can always contact the office.
Well, Dr. Lori, thank you so much, and to the entire Alliance. It's, it's so great being home, because I consider the Alliance my home. And anything you need from me, my office is open. You contact me directly, and I'm here for you for anything and everything that you need. Great.
And with that, thank you to my co-host, Paul Finkelstein, who handles all of our social media, who really helps so much with working on this program and getting this production done. Thank you to all of our many attendees today and to our wonderful elected officials who came. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. And we're ending it here. See you next month with the mayor. It's going to give an update on the state of the county.